tonight, again, we're talking about the fall, right? And the immune system, and how the fall itself, meaning coming into fall, for many of you, it's already started to happen. The fall of the immune system, even though we're not technically in fall, we're in late summer, happens as the days get shorter. That's actually one of the elements of why the immune system starts to falter, if you will. That has to do with, number one, overall less sunshine exposure. We have less daylight hours, and depending on where you're at, you know, if you're above 27 degrees latitude, the days are, the nights come even sooner than they do down here in sunny South Texas. So less sunshine availability is one of the reasons why. Why does that impact or affect the immune system? One of the big reasons happens to be a vitamin D deficiency. Now, I've talked about this a number of times in the past. Understand that vitamin D technically is a prohormone. It's not even a vitamin, it's a misnomer. And the best place to get your vitamin D is through sunshine exposure. Now, many of you may be out in the sun, you may be getting plenty of sunshine exposure, but one of the things that you're doing is using that SPF, that sun protection factor, right, sunscreens. Any SPF greater than 8, actually that's backwards, let me redraw that. Any SPF greater than 8, meaning if the score on the SPF is greater than 8, then that particular sunscreen is going to block vitamin D production by your skin. Remember that vitamin D is made by your skin. It's converted. There's a type of cholesterol in your skin called 7-dehydrocholesterol. When UV light hits your skin, it converts that cholesterol into vitamin D. But if you're wearing sunblock, and again, that's makeup for women if you're wearing cosmetics, most cosmetics have an SPF of 15 or higher. So if you're wearing 8 or higher, you are reducing your capacity for your skin to produce that vitamin D. So couple that with shorter days, and we have potentially the ingredients for a vitamin D epidemic. Now, why is that important for your immune system? One of the things that vitamin D does, one of its primary functions, is vitamin D is a regulator of immune function. It regulates the immune system. And it kind of works the way a parent works. Those of you who grew up with good parents, now if you grew up with bad parents, it may not work this way. It's a joke. But it regulates immunity in this way. So think of vitamin D as a mom and a father to your immune cells. As your immune cells enter your circulation, remember that your immune cells are produced as a result of your bone marrow. Your bone marrow, there are specialized cells in your bone marrow called erythropoietic bone stem cells, and they convert or turn into white blood cells. Then those white blood cells enter your circulation. They travel to a gland in your neck called the thymus gland. And this is where a lot of our immune parenting begins. And vitamin D is one of the very, very important elements or essential nutrients that regulates which of your immune cells can enter your main circulation and start doing the work and the job of immune cells. So vitamin D helps to mature your immune cells. Think of it like the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. The porridge is too hot, the porridge is too cold, or the porridge is just right. Well, vitamin D kind of serves as the filter for your immune cells, meaning the immune cells are too weak, we don't want those into circulation. The immune cells are too strong, we certainly don't want those into circulation. But the immune cells are just right, we do want those in circulation. And that's what vitamin D helps do. It helps parent which immune cells get to make it through to the next level. And without vitamin D, you can end up with an increased risk for low immune function. And that means picking up things like infections, colds, and flus, and other things. That, remember, why we have a cold and flu season, it always coincides with shorter days. It always coincides with vitamin D deficiency. But also vitamin D deficiency, again, can trigger autoimmune disease. So it's actually linked to both sides of that spectrum because of its parenting role in regulating immunity. It doesn't make your immune system stronger. It doesn't make your immune system weaker. It just makes sure that your immune system is doing what it's supposed to do. So it regulates the cells as they're coming in, and without it, you have too strong, weak cells, or cells that are too strong, you have cells that are too weak, you have an immune system that's not being parented properly, and you have pretty much immune chaos, which for many people leads to chronic recurring infections, which then subsequently can lead to chronic recurring antibiotic use if you've got the wrong kind of doctor making an overabundance of prescriptions, but it can also lead to autoimmune disease. And vitamin D deficiency directly linked to diseases like type 1 diabetes and rheumatoid arthritis and multiple sclerosis. So we know we don't want that vitamin D deficiency. We don't want the fall of the immune system. So you've got to understand that when the fall starts to come, and we've already seen daylight shorten, we've seen it happening since August began, and that every day that goes by we have a shorter capacity to get sunshine. And so a lot of you, by the time we're into heavy October, you're going to come into work when it's dark, you're going to leave work when it's dark, and there's not going to be any time or capacity for you to get sunshine, and you've got to make time. So my advice is go eat lunch outside, go for a walk at your lunch break, make sure you're getting out, getting that sunshine, especially as fall approaches, because you're going to have less opportunity with the shorter daytimes, and especially if you're commuting to work or you're leaving in the dark and coming home in the dark. So get your sunshine. Your vitamin D is critical for it. One of the other things we want that sunshine for is not just vitamin D, but we also need it to produce melatonin. Remember that your eyes produce melatonin as a result of getting exposure to sunshine. So as the sun hits your optic nerve, it helps your brain convert serotonin into melatonin. And remember, why is melatonin important? Melatonin regulates sleep. Now, there's no quicker way to crash your immune system than to not sleep adequate quantities of time. So what happens when melatonin deficiency sets in is you might sleep, but you're waking prematurely. So you wake up early. You may wake up at 1. You may wake up at 1 a.m., right? You may go to bed at 9 and wake up at midnight, or 1 a.m., or 3 a.m., or wake up repetitively, and each time you try to go to sleep, you can't stay asleep. And that's a common symptom of melatonin deficit, which is subsequent to a lack of sunshine. So many of you that suffer from sunshine deficiency also end up with melatonin deficiency. Now, some people go over to the health food store and they'll buy melatonin, and you can certainly do that, but it's not the greatest idea in the world. When you start taking oral melatonin on a daily basis to make up for poor choices and lack of sunshine, you actually end up with some pretty big problems. You actually shut down your own internal production of melatonin, and we don't want that either. So very, very important that you understand that this one thing, this less capacity for sunshine, can lead to trigger vitamin D deficiency, which causes immune dysregulation and contributes to colds, flus, infections, but also contributes to autoimmunity. And also, lack of sunshine creates melatonin deficit, which can disrupt sleep. And remember that sleep disruption can also crash your immune system. Remember, you need the ideal time frame to sleep is 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Being asleep between that 4-hour time frame. We obviously don't want to go to bed at 10 and wake up at 2. We'd like to sleep longer than that. But that is the critical 4-hour point, the critical 4-hour mark. So make sure that that's your minimum, and anything above and beyond that, we'll take that too. But you need melatonin, and this is a very, very common problem. I see it every fall, people coming into my clinic saying, I'm not sleeping well, I don't know what's happening, my lifestyle is no different, I'm not doing anything any different. But the big difference is they're not having the capacity to get that sunshine because they're working a job that requires them to be in when it's dark and leave when it's dark, and there's no time in between. And you can't get all of your sunshine needs by making up sunshine on the weekend. You've got to get it consistently. It's kind of like sleep. You can't make up all your sleep for lack of sleep on the weekends. You can't make up for not drinking water during the week and drink all your water on the weekends, right? You have to do it. It's one of those habits that we have to create that's consistent in order to reap the benefit and reap the health from it. So again, the sunshine exposure, very, very important. Some of you, if you live north and the weather's really gloomy and really rainy, one of the things you might want to consider here is a sun lamp. And these are the little lamps that you can put on your desk at work. You can put them in, plug them in, and for the first 20 minutes or so of your morning, you can turn that lamp on, and it helps your eyes to produce melatonin. So for those of you who live in climates where even if you had capacity to get out in the sun, but it was too rainy or it was too cloudy, you could actually use a sun lamp. Hey, don't forget to check out the rest of the series right here. Make sure you hit subscribe below. And as always, thanks for tuning in.